Listen, SB with the truth, it might pierce your mind. And JP hit you with reality all the time. The way to keep it all the way 100, it should be a crime. Sports, news, politics, on the show you will find. Conversation grown, opinions they not alone. Savannah be the home, they coming straight for your dome. It is what it is, gonna be what it's gonna be. You are rocking with the Sean Brown Show with JP.
What up, what up, what up from the East Coast to the West Coast, North Dakota, all the way down to the southern tip of Texas. This is the Sean Brown Show on WQTX Digital Broadcast. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday. That's right, it's Friday. The work week is over for some of us.
No, it's not.
JP still has to go back to work and finish the day. But we're here in beautiful, sunny Savannah, Georgia. It's supposed to be 94 degrees today. I'm excited for that. It's going to be awesome. Hot, sand gnat-filled weather. It's wonderful. It's beautiful.
I ain't getting my life right, boy. If it's going to be hot like this, boy.
We're happily here in studio. We got a very special guest today. A little bit of a spin for the show today. We're doing some things different. We're going to have a church discussion today, something that I really wanted to do for a long time. In the building, in studio, right here. And you can see her on the video. Shouts out to everybody on Facebook, YouTube, speakingthemic.com. Thank you for tuning in. We have in the building from my church, Savannah Deliverance Center, where I'm a member, First Lady Barbara Moore. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me this morning. It's such a pleasure to be here. A beautiful day the Lord has made, and I am rejoicing and glad that you chose to have me right here on the left-hand side where the heart is located.
We're
yes,
happy to have you.
I like that.
Happy to have you here, folks. We're gonna get some good discussion in. Today's topics we're really gonna talk about heavily are the church and music in the church. JP and I are both church musicians, gigging musicians for years. We've been around the set for a long time, so it's going to be some good discussion. But first, we got to give you your big updates for scores and stories from around sports, and then we're going to get to the hot topics. So stay tuned and get in here. First up, let's talk about NBA playoffs, JP. Let's get it in quick, man.
Let's go.
Sunday game 1, Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Boston Celtics. Who you calling?
Boston. Let's go.
Boston over Cleveland. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm going with Cleveland.
Nah, I'm going Boston.
LeBron's is playing insane right now.
Yeah, he can't do it by himself, sir. We all know that. We all have sitting there and watched him be great and excellent, but now it's time he really got to do it. Is he going to tire out? I don't think so, but he can't do it by himself. Boston's a stacked team, man. I like Boston.
Well, we're going to see. We're going to see. Let's get to Major League Baseball, talk to hot scores from yesterday's games, see what the important teams did. Red Sox beat the Yankees yesterday. Sorry,
yeah,
JP.
We still tied for first.
5-4 is the final score. Yankees are 26-11 on the season. So are the Red Sox. So it's going to be fun to watch that matchup throughout the year. Atlanta Braves over the Miami Marlins, 9-2. The Braves are 22-14. The Braves are playing baseball, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, yeah, about time. Shoot, nothing else is going on in Atlanta. Might as well have something going on. Yeah. Jeez. Well, where's Evans Davis at, man?
Hey, Evans is down in Miami enjoying the hot Miami sun. But, JP, if you missed it yesterday, man, I had the pleasure to announce officially Luis Guillorme, former Savannah Sandgnat. Luis Guillorme has been called up to the majors. He is officially a New York Met.
That's great, man. Awesome.
Yep.
He's well-deserved, man.
Yeah,
well-deserved.
Great talent. The kid can flat-out play. He's going to, you put Ahmed Rosario at shortstop, Luis Guillorme at second base, or to switch the two, you're going to see some highlight plays that are just going to make you go, wow. Just wow.
Yeah,
but speaking of baseball, I can't go a day without talking about my team.
I've been waiting on this for the last 4 hours. Go
the
ahead.
Savannah Bananas are in action coming up May 31st. I am your Savannah Bananas broadcaster on every game. You're going to want to tune into the broadcast for every live broadcast because you can't get tickets to most games. There are 2 games. Really, JP? There are 2 games in June that are not sold out. 500 tickets left between each game. You're going to want to get out there and support. Go to the SavannahBananas.com and get your tickets now because they're going fast. And once again, if you can't make the game, you can always check me out on the broadcast, giving you every strike, every out, every foul ball, and every home run. That's the Savannah Bananas. Folks, this is WQTS to the broadcast. When we get back, it's time to get heavy.
Oh, God.
It's time for the serious discussion. Man. And we're going to talk church and music with First Lady Barbara Moore from Savannah Deliverance Center. You're listening to WQTS. This is Music Soul Child.
Girl, I know this might seem strange, but let me know if I'm out of order for stepping to you this way. See, I've been watching you for a while, and I just gotta let you know that I'm really feeling your style. Plus I had to know your name and leave you with my number, and I hope that you would call me someday. If you want, you can give me yours too, and if you don't, well, I ain't mad at you. We can still be cool, girl. I'm not trying to pressure you, just can't stop thinking about you. You ain't even really gotta be my girlfriend. No, no, I just wanna know your name, and maybe sometime we can hook up, hang out, just chill. Damn, I'm surprised that you called, 'cause the way you walked away, I thought I wasn't gonna see you no more. Since you didn't wanna give me your man, I thought that you were digging me and wasn't digging me. But anyway, what you doing tonight? I'll probably be with my peeps. If it's cool with you, maybe we'll swing by and you can just chill. Or you can just chill with me, long as you're comfortable and you feel secure when you're with me. 'Cause I'm not trying to pressure you, just can't stop thinking about you. You ain't even really gotta be my girlfriend. Oh yeah, I just wanna know your name, and maybe sometime we can hook up, hang out, just chill. Baby, yeah, maybe we can go see a movie, girl, or maybe we can hang out, girl. Whatever you wanna do, just let me know. It's up to you. Pressure you, just can't stop thinking about you. You ain't even really gotta be my girlfriend. I just wanna know your name, and maybe sometime we can hook up, hang out, just chill. I'm not trying to pressure you, just can't stop thinking about you. You ain't even really gotta be my girlfriend. You ain't even gotta be my know your name, and maybe sometime we can hook up, hang out, just chill. I'm not trying to pressure you, just can't stop thinking about you. You ain't even really gotta be my girlfriend. I just wanna know it's your name, and maybe sometime we can hook up.
WQTS Digital Broadcast. You're listening to the Sean Brown Show. We're live here in beautiful sunny Savannah, Georgia. That was Music Soul Child's Just Friends. I tell you, folks, I used to sing that song in karaoke every week, and JP would get so mad because we would do it as a duet, and it was always a request. People just love to hear us sing it.
And we sang that song for like 8 consecutive years.
We did.
Oh my goodness.
But it was good, though.
Golly.
We didn't get any wedding requests, though. We should have got a wedding request for that. I mean, it was good.
Oh, yeah, I got to talk to you about that. by the
Uh-oh.
way.
Who's getting married?
A friend of mine.
Other than my sister.
A friend of mine is getting married.
My sister's getting married, by the way. We did talk about that earlier.
And
this
I
week.
haven't gotten my invite yet.
But she just got engaged like 2 weeks ago. It takes time. It takes planning. You know, you got to make the list out. You got to find a venue, and then you got to do all this other stuff before you can even send invitations
You got
out.
my address. I'll be looking in the mail. Thank you.
Yeah, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I know where to find you.
No, I want it in the mail, sir.
As we said earlier in the show, we have First Lady Barbara Moore from Savannah Deliverance Center in the building, and today's topic of discussion, because Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays is our talk segments. Today's discussion, music in the church. First, let's talk about Savannah Deliverance Center. One of the prominent churches in Savannah has been in existence since the 60s.
Yes, yes.
So many churches have came out of Savannah Deliverance Center, including
so
JP's church.
Yes.
Tell us about Savannah Deliverance.
It has groomed and developed many evangelists and pastors all across the nation. Of course, just to give the history wouldn't be enough. I'll give my history.
Okay.
How I found out about it. I had a brother who was an addict. He was on drugs. And of course, he was walking down 38th Street and he heard this music. And he said it just sounded so heavenly. And he decided, I'm just going to sit in the back and just listen and enjoy. He walked in that church to find a changed life because when the music was over, he wanted to leave, but something had him glued to his seat. And of course, the pastor at that time, is the founder and director at that time, was Charles Wilkerson Sr., Apostle Charles Wilkerson Sr. His lovely wife, Macletha Wilkerson, and of course, he called him down. The pastor called him down and told him prophetically that he saw him and that he was drawn in the church, but it was for a reason, and that he should get rid of the things in his pocket and commit his life to Christ. And of course, he surrendered right there. And of course, I didn't trust it because I thought, everybody that has an addiction has a story and has a line and a rap. So he came in and he told us all about it and how excited, and he asked my mother, could he borrow her Bible? And when we saw he was seriously going to church, she said, well, you can have that Bible. And of course, we decided to visit. And of course, my mother knew about it because she had listened to him on the broadcast, Reverend Wilkerson on the broadcast and everything. So she was somewhat aware of that being an evangelistic church that had a powerful outreach. And of course, it drew all of us in. We did not initially join, but we became an intricate part of it. I know I did. I went back to college. I was in college. And when I finished, I decided that would be my place. And of course, the music was absolutely fantastic. It made me understand that music really reach where nothing else, even the verbal words, cannot go. I realized that music is universal, and everyone, all of us, even us, right here sitting together, can listen to a song or hear music and have our own personal interpretation, because it not only reaches the ear, it goes further than that to the brain, but to the heart and to the soul of man. And so that's been one of the strongest, well, I'll say one of the strongest things about our ministry, the music ministry. And that was one of the things the apostle always wanted, was a strong musical background for the church, part of ministry for that church. And that's always been his goal. And with his passing 2 years ago, that was the one thing we sought to strengthen, the music industry. And of course, we shopped around, and finally we found a Sean Brown to come in and be our drummer. And we thought so we took him and allowed him carte blanche to go in this place and purchase anything. Well, first thing, he put us back into the century, because we were working with, outdated materials and things, the parts that was missing. And
let me describe this drum set when I got there. Let me
God.
describe this drum
Please
set.
describe it.
Okay, so everybody knows, you think of a drum set, you think you got the two toms, you got a floor tom, you have a bass drum. The bass drum, there was no front head on it. No front
that's
rim.
old school. That's
old school. Got it. One of the legs were missing on the bass drum to connect to the floor.
I've been there.
The pedal didn't work.
Been there
Not
too.
consistently. The cymbals were all cracked up and
Yes,
old. It was bad. They were all broken up. Which some broken cymbals aren't bad. They were seasoned. Yes, that's the way to put it. They were seasoned cymbals. They had been through a journey. And it was bad. It was bad. The snare was like a 1974 Lugwood snare.
And those are coming back, by the way.
They are coming back, but it was
Yes,
the metal one,
absolutely.
the complete metal snare.
Oh yeah, those ones
I
that
think
they
it's still
use.
upstairs.
Yeah, those
It's
ones that
also
they
upstairs.
used back in the 70s and stuff, they are coming back, and they're very prevalent. They're like worth a lot of money. But for the ones that have them, it'd be better for you to keep, because the more they get older, the more expensive they're going to get. Plus, if you know what you're doing, you can have an excellent sounding snare for a really low price. Cause
True.
I mean,
True.
yeah, because I got one that's like from '86, and it sounds like it's so modern, and I love it. I play it everywhere.
So what we did was we went out to Portman's and we got the Tama Rockstar.
Oh yeah,
Basic setup.
that's my first ever
Came with the
drum.
mono cymbals. Yeah, it's a good setup. It's consistent and nice pearl black. Pretty, looks good. I got to get our drummers to clean it off. So Montreal and AJ, when you see this, it's time to get the dust off the drum set. But we got to take care of our investments.
That's right.
That's how we got to do it. But yeah, I've been there 4 years now.
Oh, yes.
Almost 4 years.
But let's get to how you grew in that church, because, of course, we were so satisfied and willing to keep you at any cost, because we had gone through quite a few drummers, not to mention my son and a couple of cousins. And a couple of them went on to major in music in college. Diane Jenkins, 2 of her sons were drummers, and we just had drummer after we had. They used to sit on the front.
School they went to.
Yeah, we won't say that they went to South Carolina State University, and both of them finished
marching
there,
LOL.
and then one of the drummers went down to Florida, one of the schools. But anyhow, and of course AJ was going off to Georgia Southern, so we had to have a drummer. You came right in at the nick of time and saved the day. But when you fix one part, get everything ready and everything together, there seems to be another part wants to fall apart, and that was the keyboard. Well, we've always had a young lady there that would always do backup, but she just wouldn't go beyond a certain point. We needed someone to come in, because that was such an intricate part of the service, having that. And things just didn't work out with different ones, and finally you told us not to get anybody else, and we said, don't get anybody. Now what is this? And so when I mentioned to my husband, he said, I'm going to leave it to them. I'm going to leave it to the guys over in that corner. I'm going to leave it to Mario and Sean, and I think they're working on something. I was surprised to see the keyboard out there, and you were on the keyboard, and I say, well, why would you keep this secret from us? And it started from that, and it grew into we have it all, it's all synchronized now. We have the bass guitar, we have someone's on the piano, organ, piano sound, and you on and then when I looked, you had 2 keyboards. I said, now, what is all of this about?
Yeah, I stacked
the
them for a
drummer,
while.
he stacked it, and I said, oh my
stacked them for a while.
goodness.
That unleaded
But it brought
gasoline,
such
boy.
a personality. It brought the old personality. See, music has a way of, your church has a personality. If you don't know it, it does. Some churches like to just have the organ music and the hymn books and nothing
Turn the page
else.
364, leaning
but,
on his everlasting arms. Yeah.
We found out that
Line of
that
hymns, baby.
keyboard brought back an old personality that used to belong to that church, where people could really get on the glorious praise and the worship and then set the tone, and just, it brought back so much to the church to have that music corner, and we got to keep it together. We have to keep it there. Then you have to have the right type of sound systems and microphones, and and all of this. You stuck with us in developing a good sound with the choir, and it's going to be even better now that I know we can add another male voice. And anything, I mean, it's all happened because of the music. Music goes back for centuries. It didn't start with us. Music started way back in Egypt. That's one thing. Even when the children, the Israelites, was enslaved, that one thing they knew to sing. They had their songs. They had their instruments. And of course, as you look through the Bible, just about every chapter that mentions praise, the musicians were the ones they were called for. Jehoshaphat called for the ministers of music and all the musicians to go out front first and take it out front first. So we see that as such a great part. Marion, when they crossed the Red Sea, she took out her tambourine and went to praising God with the cymbals, as they said, and they just rejoiced. So, you have the serious sound, you have the soft motions in music, but then you have sometimes that aggressive sound that seem to awaken the spirit, because we know music is a spiritual thing that speaks to the inner heart and speaks to the soul. And for some, it may be a lot, but for Pentecostal and interdenomination, I say non-denomination as we are, it really is a good fit for everybody. We have something for everyone. There's some that like the old hymns, as my husband liked to sing every time, that tickles the soul instead of the toes.
He throws me for a loop sometimes. He'll start singing a song, and I'm only 32, Pastor.
Well, you got to know them hymns,
don't
Doc.
quite
You got to
remember
know
that
them,
He'll
big
go
one.
through one
fella.
time, like, okay, I got it.
Yeah, know them
And that's,
hymns, big
that's
fella.
one of the crazy things. I've really only been playing boards seriously for, 2 years now? 3 years now almost?
Yeah, right at 3 years, Sean. But I like the
And I
way
can pick up anything that I
you
hear.
are listening and you are adapting and you are able to bring it to bear in the church. That's the great part about it.
It's truly a blessing. It's something that I'm thankful. I always thank God all the time for giving me the ability to be able to just hear a song and be able to turn around and play it. It's not always capable for everybody to do. And I know JP has that same talent as well. But it's something that I really am thankful for, and I try not to take advantage of it, so I still continue to practice. Folks, it's 21 minutes past the hour. You're listening to the Sean Brown Show on WQTS Digital Broadcast. When we get back, we're going to talk about this viral video that's going around on social media. We're talking church and the musicians. This is the Sean Brown Show. You're listening to WQTS.
I'm so in love with you. Whatever you want to do is all right with me. 'Cause you make me feel so brand new. And I want to spend my life with you. Let me say sing, baby, since we've been together. Ooh, loving you forever is what I need. Let me be the one you come running to. I'll never be untrue. Oh, baby, let's stay together, loving you weather times are good or bad, happy or sad. Ooh, yeah. Whether times are good or bad, happy or sad. Why people break up? Oh, and turn around and make up. I just came to see you'd never do that to me, would you, baby? Being around you is all I see, is what I want us to do. And we ought to stay together,
It's WQTS. You're listening to the Sean Brown Show. That was Al Green's Let's Stay Together. Folks, if you're looking to do some big business and you want to grow your organization or your company, get in contact with us. Let's make it happen. We've got so many people coming onto the studio or coming into the studio and being a part of the show. The next 3 weeks is absolutely chock full of local prospective talent and businesses that are doing big things in the community, and they want your business. Coming up next week, we have, we have Smooth coming in, who actually made our intro track, a local positive rap artist. It's very difficult these days to find a positive rap artist in the industry, but that's what he is. He'll be here next Friday. Wednesday, we have the owner of Bulletproof Energy Drinks coming in, and she's going to talk about what they have and how they are different and better than Red Bull and all the other companies that are out there giving you energy drinks. And we've got a few more surprises coming in, so you guys are going to want to stay tuned to WQTS and definitely stay tuned to speakingthemic.com. JP, you're at Elon this week?
I'll be there Saturday.
Saturday. No big appearances this week? Just you?
Yeah.
Just JP. It's Elon with just JP.
That's correct.
So check it out, folks. We're talking about church and the music. We've got First Lady Barbara Moore from Savannah Deliverance Center here in the building. There's a viral video that has been playing throughout Instagram and Twitter and all the social media platforms this whole week, and it's a big discussion in the church and between church musicians and the hierarchies of different churches. And we're going to play it for you so you can hear it, and then we're going to talk about it right here on the show. This is coming from Dr. Matthew Stevenson, and it's an opinion, but it's a debatable opinion. So let's listen to it and get back to it.
To you musicians, my heart breaks on behalf of pastors in America. We've talked about you for your habits, treated you like you were only worth what you could do for us, robbed you and not wanted you to pay you, and then forced you to gig and then judged you because of it. We didn't pastor you. We didn't ask you questions. We didn't check on your marriage, your sexuality, your emotions. We stuck you on an organ, stuck you behind an instrument, and made you make our show on the behalf of shepherds in America. We repent to the Levites. We repent to the Levites. Oh, that's a big deal. We repent to the Levites.
So, yeah, that's some deep stuff right there. Me and JP talked about it offline, but it's, we're talking church, we're talking and talking music in the church. What he's talking about right there, that's something that has almost been a staple for most musicians in the church. JP and I we used to be a part of one of the original members of one of the largest and most prominent groups here in Savannah. I won't say the name of the group, but because they don't want to pay us. But it's okay. Gotta have fun. No, it's not nothing like that. But no, we'd be at a bar Saturday night playing and of course enjoying a nice healthy liquor tab. Mm-hmm. Sunday morning, all three of us would be back up at church, hungover, and playing in church.
Yeah,
and that's what we had to do to survive.
My story, huh?
It was both of us. I can't deny it.
Gee.
It was both of us. We used to have a good time.
Very true.
But and we used to put on a show, but we always had to balance that just to make do and make life work. And nobody ever said anything to us. No one ever came down on us and said, "Out there, we don't have this problem at Savannah Deliverance Center." And I know y'all don't have this problem at Brandon Hearts, but it's a discussion. And we have First Lady Barbara Moore here in the building, and I really want to know what your opinion is on what he was saying in the video.
Well, I have to be honest with you, Sean. I have to totally agree with him. Because remember, I've been around this work 40-some years. And I can remember the days that musicians would come in 30 minutes earlier, play their hearts out, and they would get a token of love maybe twice a year. And that's sad. And then, it was preached out that you're working for the Lord. Well, it's a new day now. We need to look into the heart of working for the Lord. If you're receiving tithes and offerings and contributions, that is for the ministry and the growth of the work. And what does it take to grow? It takes the preacher, of course. It takes the church secretary and all the finance committee. But the heart of it, it takes a great musical staff, because that's where the praise and worship and getting everybody in a single attitude. When I say that, it's an attitude of unity. Because when you bring in that music, when you sing together, even though you may be off key, you're unified by the voice that you're singing a praise to the Lord.
Joyful noise.
That joyful noise, and some of it is noise. But if you have a good musician, or if you have good musicians, you can cover it over and make it all, I mean, the worst is the best. So, of course, yes, there was a time. And, of course, my daughter went off to North Carolina to a big church where they were doing the things the right way, and she kept mentioning that. But we weren't in control, so we had to go along with things. And then she went off to Michigan State, and she joined a large church there. And, I mean, this church, the pastor, big congregation. But she said, we went to visit, and boy, we had such a wonderful time. And she said, Mom, I'm going to tell you something. And I hope it doesn't change your attitude about the worship today. She said, all of those musicians play at this club on Saturday. And I said, what? And it did. It really, she said, because they try to make the ends meet. And some of them have jobs, but they're doing it free, basically free, just for a little bit of, what is given to them. And it's not enough for them to turn loose, the gig, as they call it. And she said, all of them. I said, not all of them. She said, the entire band is over there. So I said, well, I don't know what to say about that, but there is a spirit in music. Because have you ever just in your car with your girlfriend or your wife, a significant other, and you're listening to soft soul, and after a while, the lyrics, it gets into your spirit until it puts you in a groove and a mood, and make suggestions through the music to the point that you'll be in a mood for whatever's going on that the music has put you in. So, like I said, you want to be sure that the spirit is correct that's coming into your church. I said, I have to admit, those guys, they're doing a great job of transitioning from one vineyard to the other vineyard.
It's not easy.
And but what is so important that if they were, and I have to stick, as Pastor said last night at Bible study, we can't change the word because they have a soul that needs to be saved. And they have to really have a commitment to whatever they're going to do. You have to do it heartily as unto the Lord. So who is the fault? I think that really when we budget correctly and put things in the proper perspective and priority and prioritize even in the church what we do and what we need to accomplish, that need to be a solid part of the budget. I feel if you, those things you work for, you work and do, you need to be paid for it. They said in the Bible, don't muzzle the ox that's plowing in the field. Allow them to have a portion. So, I think it's very important that you pay your musicians, and you may not be able to pay them the top-notch salary, but be fair.
Yep.
And be honest with yourself. If you know you can do it out of your budget, do that, because it's such a great part of the service. And all of this talk about doing it for the Lord and the Lord is going to pay you. Well, you need to pay me too. Let the Lord use you to pay me too. Start with that.
That is correct.
Well, and it's become a very competitive business as well. And surprisingly, like if you were to go to Portman's right now, and somebody in there knows that you're a pianist and you play somewhere, they say, well, what are they paying you? I can pay you more to come over to us. No, I'm good. I'm good. And that's happened to me a couple times. I know that's happened to you. I actually had we had a family function here a few weeks ago, and I had my little cousin came in here. She's like a little piano prodigy. And she said, "Yeah, my church pays me $500 a week." I said, "To do what?" She said, to play any instrument I want to play." I said, "You got to be kidding me, right?" She said, "No, this is what I do." I said, "Okay." She's 16.
Seriously, it's
But
like
it's
that.
competitive.
It
It's very
is.
competitive.
It
You
is.
have every church wants the best musicians in the city because they want to have the best band. Right now, the best band is technically at Branded Hearts. Now,
It is.
if
It's
Bernard
great.
leaves, then they're no longer the best band.
Excuse me.
I have a daughter in Fort Lauderdale, and she went back
Willie.
to one of the home church connected with the organization my mother never left, which was the Fire Baptized. They do believe in the organ players. And
Yes.
she wasn't there very long before when she called home. She said, "I'm the minister of music." I said, "Now, when did you get to be minister of music?" Of course, she can play several instruments, the flute, the sax, the guitar, the organ. But the organ she was rusty with, but she was able to take that on and do that. And what shocked me most of all was that they were willing to pay her.
Mm-hmm.
And because she said that like I said, sometimes I feel that there is a shortage of finding the people who can give you the time and the dedication. And then a lot of them, if they see an outlet to make it out in the secular world,
The ticket.
they will take that ticket and they will run with it. And just about everybody, like one of the hosts from one of the musical shows, say, "Well, is all the development out of the music in the music world have a church background?" But they have found out
Majority
that
of it, yeah.
the majority, I would say a good 80% or 75 to 80%, even voice coaches realize that those vocal cords that develop in the church is something about them that sometimes people that just going to school and just being in the music program, it's just they always say it's natural, but it always start because when they're little, they're right there screaming and singing and going on and everything, and right along with the musicians. So I think there's a shortage because there's such a great need in the secular. There's much in the secular world as well as the spiritual world. But I think that's where we need to step up our game. This is the first time I have heard a pastor outwardly speak. And that's right. It's really, in a bad way of putting it, raping that victim because you're taking and using their talent and not really paying them for it.
I mean, I grew up like that. I grew up, and I was shocked when we went home for the hurricane, this last hurricane, when we had to evacuate. I grew up, mega church building. JP's played there with me before. Mega church building, tiny church crowd. It was, play unto the glory of God. We'll be taken care of in the long end. I went back after the hurricane for evacuation, and they handed me a check because I took my board with me. They handed me a check, and I was like,
What?
"Is this a joke? Are you serious? Y'all have never paid, and I played here since growing up. I didn't get a dime. I didn't even get a thank you. But now we're getting paid. So I was like, okay, next hurricane, I'm going home."
Well, I think they may have realized, as we did, because we went through a dry spell for a moment. Sometimes it takes you going to a dry spell to realize when I get to the oasis or the well again, I'm not
Hold on to
leaving
it.
it.
Yep.
I'm going to hold on, and I'm going to stick with it, and I'm going to try to do what I can to make that person happy. But I'm hoping that most musicians realize that they have a soul that needs to be saved, and that to be the best that you're going to be and to really glorify God and to really bring forth all you have to offer, you really need to be serious about the character within you, the change in your life. I think so much comes out, so much more come out of those who are really serious and about their walk with Christ. I personally met Vicki Wyman. She came here and did a concert for us. So I can say this personally because she personally told us that a lot of her songs came out of hurt. And look how it just changed things and made things so wonderful. The voice, how it developed it, because sometimes this is the avenue people will take when they are going through different situations. So, with all of that being said, look how it turned out. I think God will promote it. Back in the day, back way, way, way back in the day, Aretha Franklin father sanctioned, Reverend Franklin sanctioned for her to go out because the church wasn't paying her. Imagine. We wouldn't have had chain, 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 and all of the other different. What
That's
you
it.
want? Respect.
I saw a picture of her at age 19 the other day, of back in the day. And we actually got a question here. I was waiting for somebody to give us a question here on Facebook, and we finally have a question. It's coming from Willie Jenkins, who just happens to be Savannah State alumni from the marching band. He said, should it be a problem for a musician to play anywhere outside of church? Most clergymen claim musicians should not play outside the church walls, but those same clergymen hold careers that have nothing to do with church or religious means. Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a great question.
That's a good
And you know
question.
what? I don't think it's wrong to play outside the church, but the priority has to be there, and it has to be a line drawn of what you will do. Now, as Sean confessed, when you're sitting in that atmosphere and the spirits are being passed around,
As Sean confessed.
and Sean confessed for you.
I
too,
didn't
Jay.
take those shots by myself, by the way.
I think it was
I plead
confession
the-
for the group.
It
I
was
plead
it
the
was
fifth.
it was
He confessed.
Jack and Daniels.
I plead
Oh,
the fifth.
Jack and Daniel. Okay.
Wow, really?
All right. all
Really?
right. Well, let
that
me
was
explain this
terrible.
to you. Remember when the Americans came here and they were to the new country and they met the native Indians and they were introduced to what they call spirits?
Mm-hmm.
That good old tasting
Moonshine. That's really what it was.
Yes. And it
Don't
really
touch it.
carries a spirit because when you partake, so to answer the question, no, it's okay, but you gotta keep the priorities and what you're doing, and there need to be a line drawn. If you can't go in those places without partaking of the spirits, which brings on a different you. Now, you can be in a club, and you can note that if sometime just one drink can cause that person who's really the
That is
wallflower
true.
up on the shelf,
We've seen that.
standing by him or herself, one little drink and they're tearing up the floor,
Hey,
Yeah.
D.
and one drink to one more,
That's
more and more.
Tanner.
So what you have to do, what you have to do, if you can go there, but it's hard. So that's why preachers realize that the environment, what makes it different. Okay, let's say you're doing a bar mitzvah or either a wedding shower or wedding reception or an anniversary or retirement party. That's a little bit different, but you still have to always have a line that you will not cross because of that. And I feel too, if it gets to be where it's too much, God will work it out where you'll have enough without that. So no, you're right. A lot of ministers do work. At one time, it was a thing that was a disdain to look upon a minister that went out, but it just the church doesn't pay enough a lot of times. That sometimes you will need that extra salary. It takes two incomes. At one time, the man could work, keep his wife at home, but I don't find that too often because it takes two incomes to
That's
make
right.
it. Especially things are so much more expensive. So it's the same thing with the dedication to the church. You've got to have a balance, but you got to know when not to cross the line and what not to accept. There are some who play. My daughter plays for a lot of different activities, but she will not cross the line with that. And she keeps her family, and I pray she's keeping her church up at the top of the list for priorities. But she, now that she's had the second baby, I know it won't be a lot of that. But anyhow, you have to know how to not cross the line and set the priority. So
That's
I
good.
see
That's good. Well, it's 45 minutes past the hour. That's right, 15 minutes before some of you guys got to go back to work, including JP. We've had a great discussion so far. And JP, I know it's Mother Moore's first time in the studio. So you got to go ahead and let her have the rapid fire questions.
You want to go to break first?
We're going to go to break.
We'll
but
go to
when
break
we get back,
we'll come back.
When we get back, it's rapid fire questions with JP featuring First Lady Mother Moore from Savannah Deliverance Center. If you guys got more questions or more discussion, please let us know. Let's keep the conversation going. This is WQTS, this is the broadcast. We'll be back. Quick break. We're back here on WQTS to the broadcast where we're getting it in on a Friday here in Savannah, Georgia. Hope you guys are enjoying your lunchtime grind. It's Mother's Day weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Mother's Day 2018. Fathers, dads, baby daddies, get ready. It's ladies' weekend. Let's let the ladies and the mothers have their weekend. It's they deserve it. Moms do so much. Wives do so much. They deserve a weekend. We get our own week in June. So let the ladies have this weekend. It's a lot going on. By the way, happy Mother's Day in advance to you.
Thank you so very much from all of you. And I want to shout out to all of the mothers out there, young and old, and grandmothers, and like a mother, happy Mother's Day.
Yes, big time Mother's Day excitement for everybody going around. I know I got my wife's stuff yesterday. I'm kind of excited about it.
That's great.
I was simple, but I wanted to be outside of the box. So, JP, did you get your gifts yet?
Yeah. I'm playing way ahead, sir.
Oh, that's so
way
good to hear
ahead.
that.
I'm playing way ahead.
Oh, that is wonderful. That is so
No
wonderful.
lackluster over here, sir. That's right.
Well, I can surely thank Anna Jarvis, who initiated Mother's Day in America. Of course, it was, and if you go way, way back, they will tell you about the Greek and the different ones, but I like to keep it in America. This woman who started Mother's Day in honor of her mother. In fact, she was the one to initiate a push for Truman to sign for it to be a holiday. So that was one of the great things. And of course, after she did all mother and all of that, just, you know how it is. It probably started with every holiday. There's a commercial air that gets in there and somewhat corrupts it for some, but makes it convenient for others, especially those who will go out and do the right thing early and be proud of the fact that they are outside the box and can't wait to see the excitement on the significant other's face. But anyhow, she really pushed, and not only that, she felt that the first flowers they gave out was carnations. I thought it was a rose, but it was not.
Carnations.
Carnations.
I learned something
meant
today.
For purity and love. Stood for purity and love. And they would give them the carnation. They would give the mother a carnation on this most special day to let them know that they're really loved and to recognize all the things they do during the year. It's nothing like a mother. It's a rewarding experience just to have a child, but the greatest reward is when that child develops into a great self-sufficient adult. And no matter how old you get, and I hope my son and daughters are listening, you always have a mother.
That is
And
true.
if you don't have a mother, you can always look at someone who's like a mother, and you can honor her on a day like that. And I thank God that He has placed it where it could be a time and a day. And of course, she was the one that pushed to have it the second Sunday in May, because at one time it was in March, but now, universal as it is, the second Sunday in May is the day we honor our mother. And you shouldn't have mother in the kitchen cooking. So restaurants
'em out
get
to eat.
ready, or
I
you
don't
better
know.
get in the
I
kitchen.
don't know. Mama always said there's food in the house, so we don't need to go out to eat.
Food around the
Speaking
corner.
speaking
Nah,
of Mama,
nah.
we have a tradition here.
Yes.
Although we've only been around for a year,
Mm-hmm.
we have a tradition here that we did last year. We're gonna continue it this year, but we call our moms, and
Please
I
do
want to do
that,
that real quick. Let's
please.
call our mom,
Please call
and then we'll
Mom.
call JP's mom. Is your mom gonna pick up this year?
No, she's working.
Okay, we'll call my mom.
My mom
Please
is
call
working.
your mom. She's one
Let's
of my
hope she picks up,
favorites.
because
Hello.
hey, you are live on the Sean Brown Show with JP. How are you, Mom?
I'm doing fine, and you?
I can't complain. We are going through our Mother's Day segment for 2018. If you remember last year, we did the same thing where we called you on the air. Just wanted to call and say Happy Mother's Day and thank you for all that you do, and that we love you.
Oh, I love you guys too. And how's everyone doing today?
Everybody's good. We have First Lady Barbara Moore here in studio with us from Savannah Deliverance Center. If you
Hello,
want to say
hello,
hi.
hello,
Hi, Mother
hello.
Moore.
It's
Happy
good to hear
Mother's
your
Day to you,
voice.
girl.
And happy Mother's Day to you also. You did a great job and still doing a great job being a mother and a grandmother.
Why, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you soon. I missed you this last time when I was there.
Yes. Was I out of town?
No, they didn't. They slept in
I
that
don't
day.
know.
Oh, you slept
They
in.
slept in
Okay.
during church. I
Yeah,
came to
because
church.
usually I look forward to that, because sometimes I kind of hope that we don't have. Well, maybe one of the times you come out probably cook, but I look forward to those restaurants.
Yes. Well, we
That is
had
correct.
tons of crabs.
Oh my goodness!
Oh.
See, I knew.
Crabs,
Really?
They were
I
coming out
knew
of my
it.
ears.
I knew
Oh,
it. I
he
knew
was
it.
sneaking.
That's it. We always have a good
Oh.
time when Mom's in town.
Oh, that
Boy,
was
she comes to make sure she gets that good seafood, Savannah
It's-
seafood.
We had fun. We had fun, but we just wanted to reach out and say Happy Mother's Day. This is our Mother's Day edition part of the show. We definitely wanted to reach out and say thank you for everything you've done, Mom. We love you, and I'll call you in a couple hours.
Okay, thank you, and I love you all too.
Thank
All
you.
right,
Hi,
now.
Mom.
So that was my mom on the air. It's Mother's Day edition. We like to call our moms. You said your mom's at work. Are you calling Jessica?
Yes, I might as well.
Uh-oh. Should I try and call my wife? I don't know. She might not pick
Let me
up.
see if she's gonna answer the
She
phone
may
though.
not.
My wife's
That's
working.
the
Both of our
question.
wives are working right now. It is our Mother's Day edition of the show, folks, and we definitely want to show love to all the mothers out in the area that are working so hard to provide for the kids and make sure that their husbands and kids have everything that they need and that the household's taken care of. As we know, there's so many traditional lines that are being blurred now, so it's difficult now. But let's see if Jessica Prophet answers the phone.
She might not, because I think she knows if I'm calling between 1 and 2, something. I mean, 12 and 1, something is up.
Hi, you have reached the
Yeah, that's
voicemail
what it
of
is.
Jessica.
All right, let's try and call the other one. Let's see if Retta picks up. Retta's going to be like, why is Jonathan calling me? JP
She'll
doesn't call
probably
me.
answer because she might think that. Well, then she
Retta
might
has
not.
her headphones on, so I know she has her phone. I know she has her phone at work. She's about to get in trouble. Why are you going on the phone at work?
See? Hello?
I told you she had her phone on at work. Hey,
That's
babe,
right.
this is you're live on the air here on WQTS. This is the broadcast. This is the Sean Brown Show. It's our Mother's Day edition. We have First Lady Barbara Moore in the building. We wanted to call and tell you to have a very happy Mother's Day. I love you. It's been a privilege. It's been an honor to be your future, your forever for this last 3 years. And I'm very blessed that you were able to be the mother of my daughter, and I wouldn't ask for anybody else.
And I'm so happy to be your godmother. You've been calling me godmama since you were old enough to say, godmama. I couldn't figure it out, but I knew you were saying godmama. So I'm so happy to have you from infancy to where you are now, a wonderful mother and wife. You speechless?
What is it? Did we lose her?
You still there, Retta?
Yeah, but everybody sound all jumbled. All I heard was John laughing in the background.
Oh, okay.
Well, we're saying Happy Mother's Day, and we were paying you tribute on the air.
I hope you understood that I really appreciate having you as a goddaughter.
Y'all funny.
I'll play it back for you later, dear, when you get home from work. Going back to work, dear. We love you.
Okay, love y'all too.
Okay.
Love you, Retta.
Love you, Retta.
That's my beautiful wife. She's special when she want to be.
Boy,
She is wonderful from birth to now.
I'm gonna give her one more try.
we
She
gonna
just
try-
texted me.
We're going to
so
try. Oh, she probably texted you, say what you want.
Basically.
So
basically.
wonderful to
She
see.
said, "Aren't you doing the show?"
There's a reason I called you.
I told her to answer it. She better answer the phone.
Well, while that phone is ringing, Red is one of the few that I. Oh, go ahead. You got it all, Pastor.
Hi, Jonathan.
Hey, babe.
Yeah, I know. Why?
You know it's the Mother's Day show. We do this every year. We did it last year. I called you last year, so I'm calling you again this year to tell you.
I only hear. Hold on, I hear every other word. That's it.
See how she tried to correct me on national broadcast radio. Anyway,
Yeah.
She's telling you got to speak
I'm-
up, son.
I'm just calling you to tell you that I love you and thank you for being the mom of my son. And thank you for giving me 2 extra children that I have had the privilege of stepfathering, and Michael and Keisha. And, nationally, I'm going to tell you that I appreciate everything that you do. And I'm privileged to be a husband to you and a stepfather to your children and a father to my son. So just thank you for everything you do. Did she pass out?
Jessica, you there?
I can't hear anything.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, you missed the.
Well, we'll have to play it
stellar
back for you, too.
statement.
Yeah, you gotta have to you have to watch it back.
It was beautiful. I'll tell you that. It was beautiful.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, First Lady. I love you,
Okay.
babe.
We
Love you
love
too.
you.
So
Happy Mother's Day.
we've got a few minutes left here on the air. JP, it's about that time.
Is it?
It's rapid fire time.
Oh man.
2-minute quick hits.
2 minute
What you
quick
got?
hits.
Let's go.
All right, don't be alarmed. It's just the intro.
An awesome choice, stranger. It's got a 3-round rapid-fire capability.
What? So violent, JP. Gee whiz. Okay, go ahead.
All right, First Lady, we're gonna give you these quick questions. So we only got 2 minutes left.
Okay.
So, if you had to choose on a long road trip to listen to one group, who is it? The Caravans or the Clark Sisters?
Clark Sisters.
Really?
hmm
Any reasoning?
Well, I think that the Caravans. I'm not that much on old school. They still kind of do a lot of old school stuff, and I guess I would probably end up if I was on a long road trip with my husband. It would be the Caravans, but the Clark Sister has more of an upbeat, and it has a snazzy sound
That's
in the
right.
voice.
True.
You ever notice
Absolutely.
that? They have a blend.
Right.
You don't hear that kind of blend. They put, which is, I guess they would say soprano, alto, second soprano. They're really not
Right.
really the tone. They are one beat over the tone, like the soprano is first soprano with a
They layer 'em.
yeah, they're layered.
layer sounds.
That
Layer
it's
sounds.
a beautiful layer tone
Okay.
that comes out beautifully.
I think it
That's
has
why
something to
said-
do with the fact that the Clark sisters are all real sisters, and the
Yes.
Caravans are
Yes.
not kind of related. So you grow up around each other. It's easier to make a musical connection like that. So your go-to scripture.
Proverbs 3, 5, and 3. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding. Everything acknowledge him, and he'll direct your path. That's really true. Everything acknowledge him,
That's right.
and he'll direct
That's a
your
good
path.
one, man. I didn't think about that one. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, real quick. Favorite TV show as a child?
I love Lucy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I love
That's a
Lucy.
good
I
one.
love the way she would get in trouble and he would be right there to help bail her out. And I found myself doing that when I started working. I coached. My husband would be right there with me as I coached. I did some great teams. I did softball, I did basketball, I did gymnastics, and he would always be right there, and he was just wonderful. He would, until he got up into the arena and started coaching football, and then he just left me to myself, and I left it alone because it was just too time consuming with children, 3. But yeah.
Okay, last one. Besides the scripture in Proverbs that you just gave us, best piece of advice for the generation we live in today?
I'll say Psalms 34. Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious of the workers of iniquity, because they should soon wither as grass and dry up as green herbs. Trust in the Lord and do good, and verily thou shalt inherit the land. That's in this scripture. In those scriptures, it'll tell you to trust, rest, and wait upon the Lord. But the part that's the best is delight thyself in the Lord, and he'll give you the desires of your heart. And people don't really know how to delight themselves in the Lord. But when you do that, God will give it to you.
That's a perfect
That's
answer.
good stuff. That was Rapid Fire with JP. We are overtime. We went into OT. Folks, you've been listening to the Sean Brown Show on WQTX into the broadcast. Shouts out to all the mothers, and happy Mother's Day across the United States, from the East Coast to the West Coast, from us here in studio.
So hold on, Sean. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry.
JP hitting wrong button.
I did. So, First Lady, before we leave, give them the information. Where is Savannah Deliverance Center?
38th and Bonner Street.
In the city of?
2113 Bonner Street. No, I'm sorry.
2115.
2150.
Ooh.
Well, 13 is next, so you'll
Yeah.
get there. Bonner Street. And, of course, anytime the doors are open. The book where the church where the book of Acts continues and love abides, and it's not the perfect church. So if you come in looking for perfection, just put on your shades and come on in and see that we are striving. We are not there yet.
11:15 on Sundays. We want to see you guys there. Mother Moore, we appreciate you coming in the studio
Thank you
today.
for the invite.
And again, happy Mother's Day.
Thanks
Happy
a
Mother's
lot.
Day.
I'm
I
sure we'll
feel
say it
so
again on
favored.
Sunday. But happy Mother's Day. We on behalf of myself and JP, we appreciate you coming into the show.
Absolutely.
And blessing us. We did something different today with the show and went the church angle. So and it paid off, I would say. But for all the mothers out there, this song is for you all. I'm not gonna listen to it because it makes me cry. Boyz II Men, Song for Mama. We'll see y'all on Monday.
Pay that water bill.
You taught me everything you've given me. I always keep it inside. You're the driving force in my life. Yeah. There isn't anything or anyone that I could be, and it just wouldn't feel right. Never didn't have you by my side. Oh, you were there for me to love and care for me when skies were gray. Whenever I was down, you were always there to comfort me. And no one else can be what you have been to me. You will always be, you will always be the girl in my life for all time. Mama, Mama, you know I love you. Ooh, you know I love you, Mama. Mama, you're the queen of my heart. Your love is like tears from the stars. Yes, it is. Mama, I just want you to know. Loving you is like food to my soul. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, you're always down for me, have always been around for me, even when I was bad. You showed me right from my wrong.
what you did. And you took up for me when everyone was down on me. You always did understand. You gave me strength to go on.
There were so many times looking back when I was so afraid. And then you come to me and say to me, I could face anything. And no one else can do what you've done for me. You'll always be, you will always be the girl in my life. Ooh, oh, mama, mama, you know I love you. You know I love you. You know I love you. Mama, ooh, mama, you're the queen of my heart. You are. Your love is like tears from the start. Your love is like tears from the start. Mama, I just want you to know. Mama, I just want you to know. Loving you is like food to my soul. Never gonna go a day without you. Fills me up just thinking about you. I'll never go a day without my mama.
Listen, SB with the truth, it might pierce your mind. And JP hit you with reality on the time. The way to keep it all the way 100, it should be a crime. Sports, news, politics, on the show you will find. Conversation grown, opinions they not alone. Savannah be the home, they coming straight for your dome. It is what it is, gonna be what it's gonna be. You are rocking with the Sean Brown Show with JP.